independent member for Clark.
You've been lied to, Premier.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Premier. The Tenants Union of Tasmania recently released data from Taswater that showed there were 192 residential properties across the Hobart City Council municipality that had a high chance of vacancy, 115 in the neighbouring Glenorchy City Council and 256 in Launceston City Council. These properties use less than 10% of the average household water consumption for 3 consecutive years. That is 563 inner-city residential properties that sat empty during a housing crisis. And if you were to extrapolate conservatively these numbers across the state, there's potentially almost 2,000 properties sitting empty. In Vancouver and Melbourne, homes left empty for more than 6 months without a reasonable excuse, such as significant renovations, selling or holidays, are charged 1% of the value of the property. Premier, do you recognise that there are thousands of Tasmanians sleeping rough every night right now? And will you introduce an empty house tax as one way of incentivising an immediate increase to supply?
It has the opposite effect for
Honourable Premier.
disincentive for investment.
Speaker, I thank the member for Clark for that question, the independent member for Clark for that question. And I'll once again make our position very clear on this. We won't be imposing an empty homes tax. We won't be. Our priority is to address the long-term issue of housing affordability, Mr Speaker. That is why we announced this week the most significant investment into social and affordable housing, as well as a range of other measures to encourage property owners, Mr Speaker, in terms of taking on tenants, Mr Speaker, in terms of assisting young people, especially to get their first step onto the property ladder and out of the rental cycle, Mr Speaker. We also provide significant supports, Mr Speaker, to those that are homeless, Mr Speaker, in terms of a range of options that are made available and have remained uncapped, Mr Speaker, since the beginning of the pandemic, since I became Premier, Mr Speaker. So no, we won't be looking to introduce an empty homes tax.